Alrighty, what was life like for women under the Nazis? So remember, Nazis got into power in 1933. So what was life like for women when the Nazis took control of Germany? Well, it connects with the Nazis' goals. So the Nazis' goals are their aims, what they wanted to achieve when they had power. They had lots of power, as you know. What did they want to do with it? Well, the first thing they wanted to do was to increase the number of Aryan Germans. So Aryan Germans are like the people in the picture. Aryan Germans are non-Jewish Germans, and ideally, according to Hitler and the Nazis, they should have blonde hair and blue eyes to be the perfect German. He wanted more of these Aryan Germans, and as a result, he expected women to do their duty and to have lots of children if they were non-Jewish Germans themselves. Why did he want that? Well, super simple, because he wanted to build an empire. As we know from World War One, Germany was jealous of Britain's huge empire, and certainly a priority for Hitler was to make sure that Germany had an empire that was as powerful as Britain's. They wanted to build an empire that controlled huge amounts of Europe. And this empire, because they did manage to develop it during World War II, was called the Third Reich, the Third Empire. Third, because Germany had had two empires in the past, and now this third one was the Nazi Empire. And what were women meant to do in this empire? Well, this picture on the right could not be more simple, really. They were meant to fulfill a traditional role as a mother. The woman here has got 4 children, and they're meant to stay home, look after the children, and also to cook and clean and do all the classic things that in stereotypes women are meant to do. And if you look at the man, what's his job? It is to protect the woman. So what was the woman's role? Well, I think I've pretty much gone through it. The woman's role, as you can see again in yet another propaganda poster, that was a propaganda painting you just saw, this poster. The woman's role is to bring up the children, to have lots of children too. Hopefully she's got more than one, because that would be seen as odd, so just have one child, you're meant to have several. And what are the men going to do? Well, you can see the man behind her. The man's job is to be the protector. He's got a sword and a shield. His job is to protect his wife, to go out and fight for his country. And also other men, their job was to also do work outside. This man is, of course, a farmer. Men go outside into the public sphere and do the work. Women stay at home and bring up the family. But how did the Nazis encourage women to take on this role as a wife and mother? As we remember from looking at the Weimar Republic in 1924 to 28, during the Golden Era, many women were much more independent. They had financial independence, and many of them were very happy to not be so dependent on a man. So how did the Nazis try to change that? Well, firstly, by law. They could change the laws. They were in power, and so they created the law for the encouragement of marriage. If you were a couple and you got married, you received 1,000 marks, which was about 8 months' pay. And if you had 4 or more children, you never needed to pay that loan back. Also, women who had significant numbers of children were treated with respect. So there was something called the Mother's Cross, and you received a bronze Mother's Cross for 4 children, a silver cross for 6, and a gold cross if you had 8 children. If you carried that cross with you when you walked outside, children, like these ones, were expected to salute you as you walk down the street to show their respect for you, because you were fulfilling the Nazi aim of building the Aryan race so that the country could take over other countries and build an empire. If you went into a shop, say for example you went into the butcher's shop, the butcher would scamper to the back of the shop and would get the best cuts of meat and give them just to you, because you were the special customer, because you had the gold medal and were highly respected in German society. That's how it was.